All right, guys, so here we've got the second part of my classified collection. Gonna do a third part, probably other displayed items and random Joe stuff. But we're gonna kick this off real quick. We got the eel up there with a Fortnite taken apart glider, turned it into a Sea Jet. Got one of the retro eels there. Got the wonderful classified Hiss. Got the driver inside, Destro behind the guns, of course, and the female gunner in the back, and then the tactician there on the side, followed up by the 788 team and the HMS. And then we have a series of Fortnite parachutes that are, or Fortnite gliders that I'm using kind of like parachutes like I did with Duke. And yet another Cobra eel on a sea sled type deal. But this time I've got them bringing in Televiper and got them bringing in a Viper. And Techno Viper with HMS is standing on the ready to activate. Moving on down, we've got a Crimson Guard in the Trouble Bubble. Of course, we've got the new Ramp Rats. Got the other one there in the back, storing the packages into the, or weapons into the crate. The greatest Baroness figure, I believe, in the classified line so far. The Rattler version. Love the helmet. It's beautiful. And then we've got Cobra Commander ready to get away on his claw, being the coward he is. And then back there we've got a Super 7 Ultimates bat that was exclusive, I believe, to Walmart. I got it on clearance, the only reason I picked it up. And of course we've got the beautiful Rattler in all her glory on her flight stand. Absolutely amazing HasLab. Of course, we got Wild Weasel flying. And we've got the Rattler gunner inside the gun turret. But that is the top shelf. Two great HasLabs. And we will move on down from here. All right, guys, so here for the next shelf, we have a Ninja shelf. I was calling it Ninja Force, but we know now that the Ninja Force is coming as Target exclusives. But I bought this Mego 2-pack collaboration with Joe of Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes for my daughter. She really likes them. So we put them back in the box and displayed just the box. And then you see the diorama that they're on back there, the castle. Looks kind of like Silent Castle. And a friend of mine, Bama Freddy, on Facebook, he is Adam Frederick in reality, and he will be at Gadsden Collector Con selling these dioramas like this and much better. This was one of his earliest, and it's absolutely amazing. But we've got the Cobra Forces ninjas coming. Red Ninja, Blue Ninja. I've got two of the Night Creepers here, and then I swapped to the version 2 head on that. This stuff that came with Slice and Dice was just too good not to use, so I did put it on Slice. And then had Dice just standard, more standard looking anyways. And of course we've got the two versions of Budo. This is actual Budo figure. This is actually a Stalker with grunt head and hands that I just put all of the samurai gear on. Storm Shadow V2. I think the hood could have been just a little bit wider. Not as wide as that Kamakura right there, because I think that's a little too wide. Great figure though. But I love V2 Storm Shadow. Love everything about this figure. And of course, we've got the beautiful head sculpted Helix back behind him with the Mantis knives. I got Jinx just kind of chilling out, waiting for her turn. And we got Nunchuck back there. And trust me, I am ready to get some more Ninja Force with them. But then here, just slightly behind the edge of the wall, in case things can't be handled by this bunch, Snake Eyes just waiting to throw his hat in the ring, and Scarlet ready to back him up while he lets Timber loose. But that is my ninja shelf. I utilize ninjas in different areas, but I really like this display and look forward to adding to it. We will move on. And this is definitely a shelf that I love. I love the Dreadnoks. I've always been a huge fan since issue 51 was the first I picked up on the stands. And man, what they have done with Dreadnoks is absolutely insane. You all know who everybody is. But just to talk about it a little bit, we got Naugahyde with Portbelly and Yabo. And I know he's not officially a Dreadnok, but I had to throw Shadowhunter in here, getting ready to draw back his bow, knock it. And then I threw Crocmaster in here as well because, I'm sorry, Swamp goes with Swamp. And I did find 2 of these, so I used him elsewhere and gave him 2 of the crocodiles to handle. And then back here we have the Retro Zartan still on card. I figured why open it, I don't need another Zartan out, but I've got the Ultimate Zartan or whatever it was called, the exclusive. We got Zorana, Xandar, Ripper back there, Buzzer, Road Pig. Why can I not think of his dog's name? Comment below the name of the dog. Help me remember. But got Buzzer and Torch back there. Monkey Wrench. Got Copperhead on yet another one of these Barbie jet skis from Dollar Tree that I just painted. Because we're hearing now that Water Moccasin probably at the earliest will be 2027, and if it's not, then we have no idea if it is even coming. But I threw Crystal Ball in here because I know a lot of people don't remember it or recognize it, but at the end of the Hama run in IDW, Crystal Ball was working with the Dreadnoks quite a bit, so I thought this Dire Tech fits in great here. Looks amazing, but I've got the Night Creeper ordered, and I can't wait for the next one, the one that they're calling Direhawk. It just makes me think it's going to be a winged guy. Don't know for sure yet. But guys, this right here, the OG Zartan on an OG Chameleon Swamp Skier. You might have noticed the box there in the back with the spare parts. My good friend David 3D printed this, and you can find his work on 3D. Wait. Dadgummit. Fort Wadsworth Motor Pool 3D printing. And this is not only color change, but it's also glow in the dark. Absolutely amazing. Has that OG effect. That's why Zanya, when she gets here, will be on her own Swamp Skier because Zartan's already got his as far as I'm concerned. But that is what I call the Dreadnok shelf or Swamp shelf, however you want to look at it. These figures are amazing. On to the next. All right, for the next shelf, we've got Tiger Force versus Python Patrol. And this is a crowded shelf. And if any more comes out, I don't really know what I'm going to do. But just to show off what we got here, I went a little crazy when Ross started getting the Rams. And I bought 5 of them. That's why I make so many things out of Tiger Force Duke. But I got one for Flint, Bazooka, Outback, Duke, Recondo, Of course, we've got Mr. Sabretooth, or as they call him now, Ravage, on the tiger paw. This is a custom slap together that my boys did using one of those Tiger Force Dukes. And I got to say, it looks great. Also used, I believe, some of the ultimate or deluxe Snow Serpent's weapons. Got Tiger Force tripwire with McLeod. Wish they'd have had a Sparrow with him or some other rat so we could put it over here with it. Got Tiger Force Dusty standing back there telling him go for it. And you know Roadblock's just going to come out and try and mow them down. But got all the Python Patrol here, the Crimson Guard, Python Patrol Bats, Python Patrol Vipers, the Officer, Televiper, the Trooper, Copperhead. That is a great looking Copperhead. And then I've got two of the Trouble Bubbles. I found one on clearance. So I've got the Viper and got one of the Televipers in this one. So they'd look a little different and add a little more flavor to it. But I love Tiger Force and Python Patrol. The only one I had as a child was Flint. We all know that's because I didn't have the OG. And now that I'm older, I want all of them, you know? So if they are going to do any more, maybe a Lifeline. Comment down below who else was in Python Patrol and Tiger Force that hasn't been made. I don't care if it is European or South American, whatever. Just let me know. And then, of course, we've got Old Girl. But Viper looks good. I love that figure. It really is a good use of the Kamiko body from the movie line, I believe. And I like it. On to the next one. So this shelf is actually mostly for future use. Kept my box from Destro there. Got a poster from Toylanta that's Cobra Commander. My daughter's boyfriend bought me this Snake Eyes and Batman Jim Lee cover for Batman Fortnite. And I picked this little baby up. Perfect scale for 1/12. I don't know why they didn't just go ahead and finish it out instead of making the bubble. But works good and scales with classified. So I'm going to use it as part of a display here, this Vamp Mark II. But the other shelf below it is empty too, just waiting to be filled one day. But we will move on to the next shelf. And we've got another Joe shelf here. I've got the Storm Shadow special cover full from the compendium of issue 21. Got the G.I. Joe yearbook reprint from the compendium. And then back there in the middle, I've got my 250th anniversary Duke. And we've got OG Outback. Shockwave, love that figure, love the OG Outback. Got Snake Eyes, closer to V2 maybe, without the black solid pants, with White Timber, original classified rock and roll. Got Sarge back there with his minifig and his itty bitty ditty bag. Got Crazy Legs with the head swap with I swapped it with the Night Force Crazy Legs, as we saw in part 1. And we got one of my son's favorite characters, Mutt, and old Junkyard. And then there's Big Bad Torpedo. I did not have him as a kid and always wanted him. Starduster. Love this figure. Love everything about it. I had that cereal as a kid. Ate the hell out of it. And loved every minute of it. And then the OG Badass Low Light. This one takes the cake, baby. Not only one of my favorite characters of all time, but one of the most fun figures I've ever played with, because he just fit into every scenario. But this is another one of the Joe shelves, and we are going to move on up. All right, for this shelf, I got to shout out my man Woody Triple Deuce. I know how he loves some Iron Grenadiers. I do too. Can't wait for Mr. Sonwada to get here. But this is how I chose to do my display for now. I did get 2 of the scrap irons, so I used him in another location as well. But to me, scrap iron always worked for Destro. And you see that back there, the G.I. Joe issue from Snake Eyes and Ninja Force with Destro in the Changing Castle. Also got issue 31 of G.I. Joe, Destro knocking in the cabin door on Snake Eyes. I put Baroness with the helmet on the coil here. Pimp Destro, substituting now for Destro and the Despoiler till it gets here. Couple of IG bats, which Christopher McLeod, you let that one slip. And then we've got Darkline, couple of Iron Grenadiers, of course scrap iron again. I just knocked off a missile, and oh crazy heavy metal with that cold slither paint job right there on his neck brace. Pretty cool. But this is going to look a lot better when I've got a Despoiler and Destro sitting here with it and Mr. Sonwada herself. And we're just going to go ahead and move on up one more shelf to the Crimson Guard shelf. And yes, I've got a few, but I've only got one retro right there in front. I use him as the leader of the regular, which, like we said earlier, I do have one in a trouble bubble up there. But we've got the Twins and Baroness from the Crimson Strike Pack. I put this Viper into the Crimson Guard because his red is not that far off. The gold and the silver match up great. We got the standard Crimson Viper back there, Crimson Bat, and the Crimson Alley Viper. I am a huge, huge fan of the Crimson Guard. Can't wait to get my female Crimson Guard. She hasn't come in yet at my local store, Wolf Den Collectibles in Gadsden, Alabama. Give them a look if you're nearby town, or if you're in Northeast Alabama area, Tennessee, Georgia, surrounding areas. Great store, great guy. He'll help you get it if he don't have it. But guys, these are my Crimson shelf for now. Also, Rough Shot and Virgo, shout out to y'all. They've got my Crimson Guard female variant back, which had white behind it instead of the traditional green or blue. Blue it should have been, yeah. But I'll be picking that up hopefully when I get to Joe Fest. And we will move on from here. I hit the wrong button again. All right, guys, so this shelf is kind of empty for now. But I have the world's smallest Snake Eyes with the comic that came with, Duke, and Roadblock with the comics they came with. I've got the mini Funkos of the Transformers and the Joes, minus the Operation guy. Then I've got Snake Eyes Fortnite here. Some of the Jada mini figs that are out on display. Then we've got Badass Mercer and Sergeant Slaughter, and I've got them up here waiting on Red Dog and Taurus. And then behind them, of course, we've got the other Jada minifigs, micro metal or whatever they are, nano metal figs, that's it. And then down another shelf, we have Mickey Coco, unpunched from the Hiss. I haven't opened it yet, don't plan on it. Cobra Island Roadblock. And my God, my mind is blanking on her name, and I've said it a billion times every time I see her at all these Ross. Oh well, y'all know who she is. But I put the Storm Shadow with the movie head, Snake Eyes with the movie head, and Scarlet movie here on this shelf as well. Got heavy duty on this. Why? Because we're facing off against the Snake armor, and I figured Roadblock with heavy duty to have a better chance. And why not throw in Blowtorch and his flamethrower? But inside, I've got the Cobra. Cobra. I'm staring right at it. Cobra Claw Pilot, because I've got Cobra Commander on it. And yeah, I picked up quite a few of these retro Cobra Commanders, but got 2 of his Cobra Troopers with him. I also picked up the Mezco Destro figure, and guys, if you haven't seen my video on it, go watch it. That is a phenomenal figure. And then I also threw in Movie Baroness here because all the other movie figures are on this shelf. But I am really digging this setup, and we will move on from here. So guys, we are down to 2 shelves to go. This is what I call my Cobra Commander and Serpentor standoff shelf. Of course, over here with Serpentor, you've got Raptor, Crocmaster, Firefly, Betraying Cobra Commander. Of course, Mindbender back there. And then in my mind, these Twilight Guard, I like to think they're Serpentor's personal guards, just like the Crimson Guard were supposed to be Cobra Commanders. And what a great figure Serpentor is. I'm ready to get him on down the line in a retro figure of some kind, shape, or form so that people that don't have him can get him. And that's one thing I'm not about. I'm not about, let's lock this figure away and never give it out again. I think everybody deserves a shot at it, especially if you come into the line late. I got lucky. I was there from the start. But we got Cobra Officers, Cobra Troopers, Vipers, got Retro Cobra Commander again, and I even threw Storm Shadow retro card back there. I haven't opened him because, I'm sorry, but him and the original Storm Shadow after the Arctic Storm Shadow are just too similar. There's no reason for me to open it unless I need another scene with him in it. And I know we probably got another Storm Shadow or 2 coming down the line, hint, hint. But got Scrap Iron here, and I took his helmet off in this shot while he holds up this Twilight Guard just to show the beautiful head sculpt there. And then, of course, we got the Cobra out in front of the Air Chariot. And I tried to use Mindbender's box to kind of do a lab display in the background, which worked out all right. All right, guys, the last shelf is exciting in its own way and boring in its own way. You tell me. I want your thoughts on it below when I go to the last shelf here in just a second. Guys, the last shelf in the collection is, of course, the Legacy shelf. I love these figures. A lot of people complain about them because they're not characters. She kind of looks like she has on a Christmas tree, whatever. I think they're phenomenal. Love the cops. Did one in the kind of more traditional get up, one in the riot gear. Got 2 of the firefighters, so I could do one more, or one without a mask and one with the mask. Could only find one of these action divers. Sniper is great. I do have 2 of her though. I wanted one with the comm head and hat on, and then I wanted one sniping. This figure, if it hadn't been so expensive and so hard to find, I would love to have 4 or 5 more of it, no lie. That Spec Ops back there, it's a good figure. It's solid. Is it my favorite? No. Accessories are probably better than the figure figure itself is. But if you want to talk about a great figure, Halo Jumper is it. I mean, if there's one figure that has stood out as the most realistic combat figure in the Joe line to me, it's these Halo Jumpers. I love them. They're phenomenal. I bought a bunch so I could have a bunch of parachutes. They were cheap. Picked all these up at Ollie's except for the first one I got. I always usually buy one regular price and then wait for any additional to go on sale or clearance. That's how I've built up my collection. But guys, that's going to be it for this video today. I hope you've enjoyed taking a complete tour of my classified collection. If you've got any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Y'all smash that like button and subscribe. Turn on that bell for all notifications so that you'll be notified of any future content. Guys, I am dreading packing this shit up. I am not going to lie. Oh yeah, and by the way, the bitch's name was Akiko. Yeah, go figure. I can think of it now, but not 3 shelves ago, whatever. But anyways, guys, for real, I appreciate y'all's support. Y'all are what makes this worth it. Like I've always said, if it's not fun, I'm not doing it. And I have a lot of fun making these. I have a lot of fun responding to your comments. Guys, share the videos to like-minded friends. Help me grow the channel. I'm not in any big rush. We'll get it done when we get it done. But guys, thank you for coming on this journey with me. Time to start packing up the Joes. But I am going to have a miscellaneous video up of the rest of my displayed collection before I move as well. So as always, yo, Joe.